On this bracingly energizing new album from the seasoned guardians of the rock and roll flame, Paul McCartney, Bill Wyman, Stevie Wonder, Elton, and Lady Gaga all make guest appearances. We were slothful. At a recent press conference to introduce Hackney Diamonds, the Rolling Stones' first album of original music in 18 years, Mick Jagger gave a brilliant offhand response. Keith Richards remarked, "There was a blitz on," in a friendly way. Jagger, Keith, and newcomer Ronnie Wood's laudable reluctance to take anything seriously betrayed something of their old rebel streak. It was a rough introduction to new music from the last men standing and former enfant terribles of the 1960s counterculture. The Stones, who have been the very definition of a legacy act for decades, seemed destined to spend all of eternity traveling the world as a wealthy pub band and as the living embodiment of the demi-monde in which they first blossomed and then festered, with the exception of 2016's rather good dues-paying collection Blue and Lonesome. However, the Beatles are going to release a new song in the early 21st century, a virtual ABBA is singing live, and a holographic Elvis is undoubtedly waiting in the wings. The next natural step in popular culture's veneration of the past seems to be the Stones' very own resurrection shuffle. The truth is that Hackney Diamonds, which is London borough slang for having one's window broken on a Saturday night, is not a novelty rehash. Rather, it is the best thing the Stones have produced since, "Oh, Tattoo You." Other options may apply. It struts, it stumbles, and it reinforces that despite age, self-parody, and inverted snobbery, you can't keep a good group of white middle-class bluesmen down. The group's 24th studio album weaves in and out of yayas out rockers, country ballads, hangdog blues, and gospel like a grand tour of their discography. Hackney Rebels sounds like a veteran band playing out of their parchment-like skin, but it was never going to fully recapture any of the three ages of the Stones, the blues rock barrow boys of their first dawning, the apocalyptic dread of their imperial phase, and the self-aware priapic posturing that followed. It's a record of firsts and lasts. Drummer Steve Jordan, chosen by the late Charlie Watts to play drums for the Stones, makes his recording debut with the group. Watts himself appears on two songs first recorded in 2019, Mess It Up and Live by the Sword. Bill Wyman, who finally left the group in 1993, also makes an appearance, bringing the original Stones engine room back together for one last performance. The band is brought together by producer Andrew Watt, who has previously worked with artists as diverse as Ozzy Osbourne and Dua Lipa, into something new sounding without losing the essence of Stone, including its filthy riffage, excellent vocals, and rhythm section that thrashes about with real power. The early indications were more than merely encouraging. Angry, the album's brazen opening track by Hackney Diamonds, explodes from the speakers like a scorched polecat and offers a percussive delight akin to Start Me Up. The 80-year-old Jagger makes a comic wounded man in this duet between longtime lovers, alternately feigning offended outrage and libidinous pride as he talks to his irrational paramour. Along with a Keith Richards riff on a Brillo pad. In the song, Get Close, Jagger practices prolonged syllables as Richards experiments with a riff that sounds like an angry alligator over a combative engine room. It is one of the album's weakest songs, but it does contain some explosive soloing for Richards and Wood. While the immensely excellent Mess It Up, another story of betrayal, goes Delta Disco with jagged guitar and falsetto vocals. Dreamy Skies draws from the Stones' rich collection of melancholy country ballads. Of course, there is the obligatory Richards tune, and the majestic Tell Me Straight, a story of bourbon-sick blues on which he croaks, features the human riff at his most worst. Is everything in the future already in the past? And suddenly Sweet Sounds of Heaven shows up like a falling star. This is the Stones in Excelsis, a cosmic mountain range of a gospel hymn with possibly Lady Gaga's best vocal performance ever and incredible keyboard and piano work from the band's former tourmate Stevie Wonder. If somebody is still unsure about the power of the Stones, give them this while grinning sweetly. The band closes the circuit in excellent form with Rolling Stone Blues, a tribute to Muddy Waters, the man who left the band their name all those years ago. They are always ready to bring it all back home. So, is this the Stones' farewell song and ultimate judgment? Large-scale world tours may no longer be feasible, and one founding member has already passed away, so possibly in their later years they'll turn into a recording company. According to Jagger, the most of their upcoming album is already in the can. But if the Stones are laying down the blueprint for rock and roll for the last time, they did a fantastic job. Hackney Diamonds is an excellent album of desecrated grandeur and riffage.